Hello and welcome to this edition of the Aid Station. I'm delighted today to be joined all the way from Italy by Andrea Trabuio. I've got that wrong, Andrea. I'm going to have to get you to pronounce your name properly for me. Head of Mass Events at RCS Sports and Events. And it's been incredible times as we've all been following in Italy. And I'm so delighted that you could make the time, Andrea. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Chris. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm very happy to be here with you. I'm fine. I'm living this situation as the most of the people of the world. It's a strange period, but we live, so this period will pass and we will have better times.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It will pass. We're not sure how long, but certainly it will pass, and that's a great attitude. I'd love you to start by just sharing with us just a little bit about your background and how you came to be in this amazing role of heading up events at RCS Mass Participation Division.
As I told before, my name is Andrea Trabuio, so you have the right pronunciation of my surname. I'm the head of mass event of RCS Sport and Events. We organize a lot of events. As I told, I'm in charge of mass events, but in RCS Sport Events, we have also pro cycling events. Events like the Giro d'Italia, Tour of Emirates, and the most important classic pro ride in Italy. On my own, we have the Milano Marathon, the Abu Dhabi Marathon, the Ras Al Khaimah Half Marathon, the Cologne Run. We organize 2 Gran Fondo of cycling, Gran Fondo Strade Bianche, Gran Fondo in Lombardia, and many other smaller events. The company is big. We have 60 employees, and in this period, we are trying to understand what will happen in the future. You know, for our industry, it's not a very happy period because we work on the sport with mass people, not only participants to the event like runners or riders, but also spectators. So it's not easy to understand how what is the situation we will have in the future. In this period, in Italy, everything is closed. I'm living lockdown.
Amazing lockdown, and I mean, gee, some hugely iconic names there. You talk about the Giro, you talk about Lombardy, Strade Bianche. I'm a massive cycling fan as much as a runner, and just incredible. I mean, the impact on Italy, and I'd love to kind of move on to that and hear a little bit about what's day-to-day life to you. We were talking before we started recording, and yesterday you were on our Strength in Numbers call. Is that you're not in Milano at the moment, you're in a little village, but I'd love to hear a little bit about what's day-to-day life like for you.
In this period, it is very strange. I'm lucky because I live outside Milan, in 20 kilometers far from Milan, in a small village called Abbiategrasso. So in 5 minutes, I can go for a walk in the country. I have a wife, I have 2 dogs. So every day in the morning, I wake up, I go out with the dogs for a walk. I come back, have breakfast, and then I start my everyday routine with meeting with my teams in RCS, and we try to figure out what will happen in the future. For example, as I told you, we cancel all the event on the first part of the season, so we are trying to understand how we can reschedule the most of them in the second part, if it will be possible. When I cook, I love to cook, so I prepare the lunch for me and my wife. In the afternoon, I come back to my job. But the evening arrived very fast, so it is strange because it seems we have more time, but it's not true because the day finished very, very early. And the most incredible thing is that we arrive at the end of the day, and I'm not able to finish all the things I have in my mind. So it is strange because the life is slower, and this is the most incredible things of this period. But what I see in this period is that in 4 weeks, in 1 month, we made a jump in our digital life that generally we need more than 5 or 6 years. For example, in my company, we didn't use smart working or digital video call in the past. Now we use video call every day, and it is important for us because often we go out or in another city or in another country. For example, you know, we have a branch of RCS in Dubai.
Dubai in the Middle East, yeah.
We go there for some meeting, but it's more useful to use the video call to make this. And I think it could be useful in the future because we have to see what will happen with the travel, is if we will be able to travel as before in the next month. Yeah.
It seems like, you know, life will never be the same, will it? I think there's going to be lots of positives that are going to come out of it, but it's going to take some adaptation. And I'm interested from that perspective. You know, you've spoken about the challenges of maybe traveling, meeting with your team. What you know, apart from obviously having to reconvene and reschedule all these events, what would be your biggest challenge? And is there something from a personal perspective that in this time in isolation you've learned about yourself? I mean, you've got a beautiful wife who comes from Zimbabwe, the same country as me, which we were talking about before, but you know, it's something that between the two of you or individually you've learned, and some of your business challenges at the moment.
The business challenge is to find a new way to deliver mass events, and it's not easy. At this moment, we are working in 2 different ways. The first one, the easier, is to understand if we are able to reschedule the event in the next future. But we have different problems. For example, the Milan Marathon is the most important event we have here in Italy for running, was in the beginning of April. Now we are trying to understand if we can reschedule in November or if it is better to move to the next year, because Milan is in north of Italy, is in the middle of the crisis. Lombardy is the place in Italy most infected by COVID-19. And so the first one is to understand if you are able to reschedule, but at the same time to understand if people, runner, will be able to take part of the event, if they will be able to travel as before, if they will have the money to pay the registration, if they want to stay together in a mass events with a big number of people all together at the same time. And on the other side, we are trying to understand how we can deliver virtual event. Okay, we had an experience with the cycling. So you know, at the beginning of March, generally we have the Milano-San Remo. That is one monument race for professional. We cancel the event, but we deliver a virtual edition. So every riders could have the opportunity to take part riding from home. And it was a huge success.
How many riders did you get in that?
Yes, 4,200 riders in Italy. Wow. And really a huge number. But we can do this for cycling, because all the people are able to ride from home. It's not the same to do it for runners, because the most of the people doesn't have a treadmill at home. And we cannot say to the people, go out and run, I don't know, 10K or an half marathon, because in Italy at the moment it's not allowed to go outside and run. So every sport activity is forbidden at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I'm studying to have a virtual platform where we can deliver, I don't know, generally we have the days before the Milano Marathon, a fair exhibition, a very big Milano Running Festival with a lot of booths of sponsor and other events. We have a lot of speech, talks, workshop with speakers and motivational speakers, technical and so on. So I'm trying to build a platform, a virtual platform where the runner can have the experience to enter to the booth of one sport company, to see a talk like this with an inspirational speaker. Yeah. And this platform, I don't want to use all in this period, but it could be another things to add to the real events. So you can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 months before these events on the web, and then you arrive to the real events. This is the idea.
I'm trying to link the two of them. The whole, it's not just a virtual event that's replacing an event, but building that engagement. Yeah. And how do you, at the moment, in terms of, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is innovation. Do you, that innovation, I'm sure you've seen some great things, you're looking at other virtual races, but is that working with your team? Are you speaking to participants out there? Obviously RCS is a massive media company, so you probably have access to some amazing resources, but how do you look at innovating in this stage in your particular situation?
As you told, RCS Media Group is a publishing company, the most important publishing company in Italy. We own the Gazzetta dello Sport, that is the most important newspaper of sport in Italy. RCS Sport Events is the branch that organizes sport activities. And we try to put all these things together. So Gazzetta dello Sport can help us to explain to the public what we are doing on the web, and to explain the opportunity we can give to the runners, to the riders. As I told you, in cycling, I think it is easier. In the running, it's more difficult to find a solution on a digital way. But the challenge is this. In general, the most beautiful thing of a marathon or of a run is to stay together, to live together an experience, to visit different place, different location, and is an opportunity to travel in your country or abroad. So I don't know when it will pass, but it will pass. So.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful country. I mean, I've had so many wonderful trips to Italy, and I love cycling around Como, which is not too far from Milano, and so many amazing spaces. And I guess that I found it incredibly inspirational cycling, going up to that beautiful chapel, the Madonna del Golzetto, I think it's called, and I found that so inspiring. I'd like to end on a high note. I mean, what keeps you inspired at the moment? In the times, I guess you said you're lucky to go out for a walk and you've got a nice routine, but is there something particular, an inspiring story that you'd love to share with people that are watching?
I know that generally for Italian people, we are able to find strength inside us during the crisis. So I'm sure that as a country, we will be able to go out of this period. Generally, we go deep, is the first phase. We go deep inside, but then we will find the strength to find solution, to have the best. Generally, we are able to give our best in the emergency. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure of this. I have no fear of the future, and I think the same for my colleague and for the most of the Italian people. But at the same time, I leave my mind free to go where the mind want to go, because I'm sure that in this go around, I will find my inspiration and the idea to change something in my life for the future. The most important thing is that in this period, we are able to understand the meaning of the small things. Okay, sometimes we think that everything is okay, everything is normal. It's not true. And for example, generally, I'm not able to go outside with my dog twice a day. No, and I think is one important moment of my everyday life to go for a walk in the morning and in the evening, because in half an hour I go with Oliver, my dog, and I can think at everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, giving the mind the freedom and appreciating what we have. Yeah. It's a great point.
For sure.
Yeah. Andrea, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to see you, and I hope it's not too long before I see you in the flesh. You had kindly invited me to Milano Marathon this year, but hopefully it'll be next year. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Chris, for the opportunity, and I wait for you in Italy. When you want, you can choose to come on during the Milano Marathon, the Giro d'Italia, or the Lombardia. You love Lago di Como, so when you want, you will be my guest. Okay.
Wonderful. So many great opportunities. Thank you so much. Ciao, Andrea. Thanks for your time.
Ciao.
So good. Thank you.